I got a Daisy feeling. I got a Daisy feeling. Yeah.
VIDYUT JAMMWAL. How do we say your name correctly?
Exactly like that.
Exactly like that. This is the first time I got anything right on this entire trip.
Congratulations.
I can't even say TK correctly. Trying my best. So how's your day been so far?
I've been happy, yes.
Yeah?
I was very happy to see the two of you, and this is a surprise. So
Yeah.
a great one. Well done. You want me to hold this?
No.
She goes back and forth.
So see, because Jabby, right, being Jabby, needs to have backups. So because he appreciates you so much, you get 3. You get 2 microphones.
He has to
And
trust.
Yeah, yeah, I do. I definitely do. After watching the trailer to Yara, is that how you say the name of the film? Yara. I noticed, and you probably saw me say this, I noticed a transition for you towards a different VIDYUT JAMMWAL. And I felt like we just watched your Disney Plus film earlier today. How do I say it?
Khuda Hafiz.
Khuda Hafiz. And that for me was confirmation that you're definitely making a transition towards a new you. Was this a conscious decision? Like, how did this come about?
It's just happening. There's like I don't plan my life. Most of us can't really. I started being an actor, and I realized that this is how it's supposed to be.
Okay.
I did everything to my best ability, and then I turned into a producer. And whilst this progression was happening, there was a lot of transformation within me. I was watching a lot of more people. I was enjoying a lot of more people. I started understanding a lot of more people. I'm talking about in terms of craft.
Yeah.
And once you start understanding them, you start enjoying them, you start emulating everything that you think is good. I understood cinema a little bit more. I understood the edit pattern. This is who I've always been, but I understood how to be better.
Because you mentioned producing, and obviously IB71 is your first foray into producing. So what was special about this project that made you go like, I have to be producer on this?
No, the idea was to be a producer. I've been watching the way movies are made in India, the way producers and actors are on set. When we are on a movie set, during lunch break, I see that there's a table for the lead actor, the director, the leading lady, the cameraman, then there's another table for the technicians, then there's another table for the light people. Every time I used to be on lunch, I always thought, I think we should sit with each other. And this is how it happens in our country and most of places. And I realized this, that when I become a producer, I just want to kill this hierarchy to start with. Then I've been on movie sets. I realized that the food was okay on some sets and some sets was yummy. So I thought, why not serve them the best food? Like if I become a producer, when I become a producer, they have to be served the best food. When you go to work and you go back home and people ask you, how was it? The best experience.
Yeah.
When I became a producer, I wanted everybody to be happy because I realized the movies that I've been a part of and where I had a lot of fun, everybody was happy, they really did well.
Yes, yes. Positive environment leads to better work.
So why not make everybody happy?
Yeah.
Everybody has to have fun. So with IB, we started with this. The thought came to me through a friend of mine. I was excited to just be a part of this as a producer, as an actor. But the more important part of the production was to make a change. And I promise you, having so much fun.
Do you know what Tarantino does whenever he runs out of film? Because he still shoots film. Every time the film runs out, everyone has to take a shot. And they go, we love making movies. And so he keeps a positive environment for everybody, kind of like with the same mentality that you have. You mentioned food a second ago. And you're a vegan, right?
No, I was vegan for a long time. I've been a vegetarian for a very long time. I do eat meat, but as a human being, as a person who enjoys food, I enjoy vegetarian food.
Okay. So how does one, this is probably a cliche question, but how does one get to your muscle size?
Work very hard. If you invest a lot of time on anything, it could be anything, it will happen.
Right.
The easier way is not so, it doesn't last so long. So this is how I am always. This is how I've always been. When I was 16 as an athlete, when I was 25 as an athlete, when I am on the set today, I don't go to the gym just before I have a body shot. This is how I am all the time.
Okay, gotcha. And so what foods help with maintaining that? Because like, I wonder how one can get to good muscle mass while being a vegan or a vegetarian.
So if you get into my mind, food is not my priority. I'm one of the few people who can say, I just don't think about food at all. Like when you mentioned you love food, I meet everybody who loves food.
Yeah.
It's the passion. I'm the opposite, right? Opposite of it. Nutrition is not something I think of.
Okay.
I don't have cheat meals, blah blah. I don't do all of it.
Oh, you have a whole like interview about that specifically that
so
I saw.
don't like. I genuinely find it ridiculous. I think people are investing too much time on these things. How do you become big? How do you become small? If you know your body well, if you know how you have to listen to it, I promise you these questions are really redundant.
Okay.
If you follow a plan that somebody else has followed, it's a little different. I don't follow a plan that I just do what my body craves for.
How do you get to that level where you're like, I listened to my body enough, or I know my body enough that like I know what is good for me?
Pregnant women, they have a craving. They suddenly want to eat something. They suddenly feel like having something. They know how to listen to it at that very moment only. But we all have the skill. If I have a craving for something, if I want to eat something which is really sweet, I do eat it. I don't stop myself. If I have a craving for something salty, I do have it. If I want to drink a lot of water, I do. People reduce carbs, and carbohydrate is the food for the brain.
Yeah, that's true.
Imagine irritability, anger, anxiety, depression, nervousness, trepidation. Why is it happening? Because we're thinking too much. We love food and we think about it all the time.
Yeah.
Just love it and eat it. I promise you, you'll be whatever you want to be.
Just so you guys know, just before we started shooting, he was eating French fries. I kid you not, I could still smell it. So he's not lying.
And he decided he wants to eat it later.
Yeah, because every time I go on camera, I'm like, oh no, it's gonna be in my teeth. I just know it. I just get scared. I'm paranoid about the dumbest things, and that's one of them. Like I'll smile, and then there's like a little French fry in there. It's like it's a wrap. That's all I can see now. Not the dope interview, just the thing in my teeth. So when you started out, you had some negative roles. That's what they call it in India. We call them villains in the States.
Antagonists. Yeah.
Would you ever go back to doing villain roles if the project was good?
Before playing the villain roles, I was a henchman. Like the villain's villain.
Yeah.
I've seen the journey and I've really enjoyed it. If I can go back to it, it's like saying that would you go and do your class 1 again, learn A, B, C, D? I would love to, but I don't think I need to.
Okay, gotcha.
I've enjoyed it so much at that moment that I don't want to go back to it. I've relished every moment of it.
No, that makes sense.
So since you started as a henchman, like I'm just trying to think back to you like in your early days or whatever, you know, like knowing that you started studying martial arts like at age 3 and like I assume you've always been like super active and stuff. Was it just a no-brainer to be like, well, I'm going to be an action star? Because that's clearly the path. That's either you imagined for yourself or that's kind of been laid out for you. Was there any other way?
So I've been doing this martial art, Kalaripayat, since the age of 3. I've traveled the globe. Like by the age of 13, I had done a lot of countries doing shows, performing as a Kalaripayat artist. So for me, the only idea was to promote this martial art. I come from the family where we do the Indian martial art. So for me, it was not about being an action star. It was about letting everybody know that this is the mother of all martial arts. So if I met somebody and I told them I do Kalaripayat, till about 10 years back, they did not know what it was. They didn't know even how to pronounce it. My ambition was to make it a household name. I feel very proud when people practice it. I feel very proud when people talk about it. I enjoy that part. So everything else is an embellishment. Yes, there was a thought. When I was playing these imperceptible roles, I just thought that, no, they should have not edited it. When I became the main bad guy, they still edited it. Like I wanted them to see what I do. So life is amazing. If you just let it be, it happens.
This is a silly question, but do you believe in reincarnation? And if so, do you believe you are Bruce Lee reincarnate?
No, I don't think like this. Though I do believe in reincarnation and I enjoy that part, but there is a mind of mine which sometimes just doesn't want to believe in it.
Yeah.
That I'm the only one that has existed. This is my only life. I will give it my best. These are those days.
Yeah.
And then there are days that, oh my God, there'll be another one. I was in the past. I'm experiencing something. Let me live it like this.
Yeah.
So it's a bit dual for me.
Because there's so many parallels. Bruce Lee started at a really young age with Ip Man, if that's how you say his name. And his whole thing was really just wanting to showcase his martial arts to the world more than anything else. It's all like through his film, it was just an expression of Gung Fu.
I think everybody is born for a reason. And sometimes you just know what it is. For me, it was about being the face of the Indian martial art. I feel very proud of it. I enjoy every moment of it. I don't have stress days because I know I'm working for somebody and that somebody's up there. He's going to make it happen. the way he wants it.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun.
Just talking about this no stress days, I literally just saw a video on your YouTube channel. It was like a little teaser for something where you were like in ice and it said you were in there for like 3 hours or something. I was watching it in the car on the way over here and I was like shouting at him. I'm like, what? No way. Like how 3 hours? I know you're going to drop a YouTube video on that, but like still.
So, you know, in the Indian traditional martial arts, you are a yogi. A yogi is somebody who gives his life for a certain cause to be one with the universe. So as a martial artist, you get your black belts, you get your blah, blah belts, but the only person who can tell how good you are is you sometimes, because you have a high barometer for yourself. So then you got to put yourself in different situations to really see if you are who you think you are. Because validation is, after a while, not good enough for you. You get used to people telling you, you're so good, you're so good. But do you really believe in it? So for that, you have to do a lot of rituals as a martial artist in the Indian culture. Dipping into ice, burying yourself into snow, going into a beehive, different things which...
You did that?
I recently did it, yes. I'm going to put
a beehive?
Yeah, with no protection. There is a mechanism for it. There's an understanding for it. Try different things. And that's every time you excel in something, you realize that, all right, I'm on the right path. I'm not just fighting. I'm just not doing acrobatics. As a human being, I'm evolving. So.
Right. Speaking of the cold baths, where you just go in, you seem so calm when you enter the pool. As hard as I try, I'm not calm when I go into like a cold shower to like shock my body in the same way. Is there any part of you for even a moment that kind of freaks out, but you know the camera's rolling, so you got to be tough? Or is it just like, that's just genuinely what your mindset is when you go into
I did a lot of like training before I went in. I've been working on the mudras of the...
Yes, I saw that.
How to like enhance the energy, reduce it, control your breath, your heart rate. So I've been working on it, but once you go in there, everything that you've known, everything you've been taught, everything that you think is to be done fails. And that's when your mind starts giving up because nothing works. You are in all your mudras and nothing's working. And I had a friend of mine who was watching me and I told him, till you really see me pass out, this was the first attempt of 45 minutes, don't come in. And then your mind starts playing games. It starts telling you that maybe he thinks that you passed out and he'll come in, so look at him. Or maybe he'll never get to know because you're so still. So your mind starts playing games and then you stop your mind from playing games. And like you said, how do you calm yourself down? You don't need to calm yourself down. Just keep watching yourself. It will calm down on its own.
That sounds like
meditation.
Yeah, that sounds a lot like what you told me about your Buddhist meditation, where you'll feel pain, but you have to let it pass.
Yeah, no, I did a meditation thing at a temple once and it felt excruciating at the time, but the monk was like, the pain will come, the pain will pass. Just sit there with it. It'll go away. It all goes away in the end. And I was like, oh yeah, it does. It sucks when it's happening though.
It's like when you're very happy, it just goes away.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't last for so long. So why is it that when we are sad or nervous, it just stays? Because we are dwelling too much into it. We're thinking too much about it. How do I become calm? The moment you enjoy it, that means accept it, it just goes away. It just leaves you.
Is there anything that you have taught yourself to enjoy that people might be surprised by or that people would think you shouldn't enjoy? I know that's kind of a strange question, but like, because everyone kind of goes through their emotional journeys and dealing with depression or sadness or whatever it might be, losing a loved one. Have you taught yourself to enjoy these things?
No, enjoy is not really the right word. It just limits us as beings. Enjoy means, they think enjoyment means to just like have fun while you're going through that trauma. No, what I mean for me, enjoyment is to just be there at that moment. If you're suffering, just suffer, like let it happen. Like if I'm going through a little stress in my life, in terms of somebody's getting bothered about something, and it's getting my attention, you just surrender to what your emotion is. When they say, I hate being angry, I hate being jealous, I genuinely think you should be as angry as you can be. Why do you need to not be angry? If you're angry, just let it out and you'll be surprised it goes away. And then you feel guilty. And you feel sad. Why did I do it? So just like enjoy everything, including jealousy. everything.
So IB71 is a continuance of your journey as what I would call the new VIDYUT JAMMWAL. Would you ever go back to doing something like Commando 3 again that showcases your martial arts and more action style?
In a very different way. I see things differently as a producer. I know you can do so much more.
Yeah.
When I did this film called Sanak, we had Jackie Chan's stunt team.
Oh.
And we finished an action sequence in about 15 days, which normally they take about 2.5, 3 months.
Yeah.
So I realized we have the potential to do it much better than a lot of people. If we give it some time, we believe in the technicians, we let the director be the director and not give him inputs, the action director being that. So when we do Commando 4, it's going to be completely different from what I've ever done, because we'll give everybody the chance to be who they are in the best version.
On the other side of that, though, because seeing you just kind of really get into your, serious acting more, would you ever just do a role where there was no action at all? Or is that like part and parcel of who you are?
You just can't plan the future. Would you ever? I have no idea. I would love to.
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen my life like this. When I meet people, and we've been going through the interviews in IB, did you think? No, I don't think. I'm just doing it at that very moment, and I promise you everything is coming at like a massive pace. So would I? I would love to, because why would I not?
I'm going to get this right. Khuda Hafiz.
Khuda Hafiz, yeah.
Khuda Hafiz. Was it more difficult to convey vulnerability as your character in that film, or to do the 2-on-1 fight scene in Commando 3?
Not at all. As a martial artist and somebody who's trained in the skill of combat, to play a common man is very easy yet difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So the blocks aren't, it's a natural reaction that you do on screen. And I promise you, it's so much fun.
Okay.
What do I prefer? I enjoy both.
Okay.
You know what I would love you to do for me is, because when I was shooting it, I had a few people in my mind who would watch it and know how good or bad we were, is the Khuda Hafiz jail sequence in the second part. Whenever you have the time, please watch it.
We watched it earlier today.
Did you watch the first or the second part?
Oh, the first one.
No, the second part.
Oh, okay. Then.
So you were at the back of my mind, because I know how intelligently people watch it. And jail sequences are sequences that there are a few of them which we remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when you have the time, please watch it. I would like your input on it.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
But talking about the action, though, I did notice that in Khuda Hafiz, it was like, I liked it because, like, we know that you are a very good martial artist. However, your character, at least at that time, I think, was not. And so I really appreciated that you kind of toned it down and just kind of fought in a more like scrappy way and like more of an instinctual way, because that really spoke to the character and the story, rather than being like, and suddenly this guy is a badass and it doesn't make any sense. Although that's kind of where I thought it was going to go, and I kept expecting it to because it was you, but I really appreciated the restraint that you guys decided to do with that. So I'm just letting you know.
It's a lot of fun, because once you start enjoying your director and your director starts enjoying you, and it's just not about a producer making a movie for you, I promise you it's very different, because then you start exploring everything that you believe is the truth. It's not always about doing the best somersault or getting through the window of a car. Mm-hmm. After a while, it becomes more fun. You start enjoying the reality of it, and that's what I'm enjoying in my movies now.
I thought you did a fantastic job of conveying vulnerability, and there's a number of moments in the film where I was struck by how you were conveying what you were going through without even saying anything. I don't know if it's easy for you to recall, but there was like a scene where you're with this driver, I believe, halfway through the film in Khuda Hafiz, and it goes by quick. It's right before you enter the embassy and talk to the Indian lady. That whole thing combined, I was remarking while we were watching how I felt everything you were feeling. And it was very surprising for me, just because like it's not often you find someone who has the martial arts prowess that you do and is also able to make someone feel what you made me feel in that moment. And I'm just wondering, like, what was your process for that moment right there? Is it like, because it felt so real to me. It was just like when the driver was talking to you, you just had pain in your eyes. I'm like, I see that man is hurting. And I loved it. Not in a negative way, you know what I mean? No, I just loved that you brought it to life. It made me very happy.
I'm happy for you. I promise you, like all the martial artists, the ones who've really given their life to it, they can be anything. They could be like the best actor, they could be the best plumber, they could be anything. I'm talking about artists in terms of painters, I'm talking about sculptors or any form of art. If you're an artist, you can be any other artist. So it just depends on somebody who comes and gets the best out of you. So I think the directors have been amazing in my life. I suddenly watched them. The desire for me to excel as an actor is amazing. So it's all about them. It is. I promise you it is.
Okay. And how do you choose your directors?
No, they choose me.
Okay.
I let everybody choose me. Like normally they ask me, who would you like to work with? I would like to work with anybody who wants to work with me. I'm sitting here. If you believe that it'll be good with us, I'll be happy to work. I promise you, this is as simple as it sounds. I let people come and offer whatever they have, and I will do it to my best ability.
So when you walked in the room today, sorry, did you have a question?
No.
When you walked in the room, you must be aware of this. You have an aura about you. It's like an energy that kind of, it's just surrounding you, almost like the magnetic fields of a planet. You know what I mean? Like you just feel it. And there is this like, I don't know how to describe it or articulate it, but there's this centeredness to you and this calmness. Do you ever just make fun of yourself? Do you have moments where you're just like kind of goofing off, making fun of yourself? Because that's my life.
No, I mine too. I watch the best thing about being an actor, and especially in a country like this, which is massive, is you get to watch more than people know you do see. Like sometimes when I'm in my vanity van and they don't know that I'm watching everybody, all the crew members of mine and all the people I know very well. So when I watch them through the vanity van, they're different people. When they're in front of me, they're different people. I experience this a lot, and that's the best part of my job. When I'm with people and there are thousands of them or hundreds of them, I can feel people touching me. I can feel how they are around me. And that's what I love about my job. Like if there's a woman or a man who comes for a picture, and the way they put their hand around me, I can tell everything about them. The way they touch, the way they are comfortable, overconfident, deluded, mad, I can feel it before they come. And whilst they're there, I enjoy it.
Go ahead.
Enjoy the delusion.
Yeah.
No, I mean.
Oh, you're done?
Well, you've got all the questions.
Oh
so
no, I think I finished out my list here.
What do you enjoy about what you review? Like every time I watch you, and I watch a lot of your reviews, not only my movies, because I like to see how you think and how you explain an action sequence. Like, what do you enjoy?
I enjoy seeing things I've never seen before, if that makes any sense, where I am shown either a move or a camera move or a martial arts move or some kind of action moment that has never been done before on camera. And
that's not possible. Like we've got 2 arms, 2 legs.
Somehow they do it though. Like sometimes
that's the camera work.
Yeah.
Mostly, like what else can you do?
I have no idea, but
What else are you looking for? From 5,000 years of Lord Shiva fighting, from weapons to his human body.
Yeah.
Like what else are you looking for?
I'm not necessarily looking for anything other than an experience I haven't had before. You know, and funny enough, well, it's not funny, but like interesting for me is that like there are so many Indian films that have given that to me where I'm like, whoa, I never saw that in an American film. Hopefully I can take that if I can remember it and use it at some point for myself. That's what excites me, is that kind of stuff. And it's really important as I get older for me to connect with the characters in the story. And I think that's what was special for me about Kudo Hafiz, is that I connected with your character and his plight in that story. And I feel like a lot of action films today kind of lose that. Both in India and in America, it's just kind of lost. And so you have to kind of choose between the two. Either you get something with character or you get a lot of action. It's either Pathan or English Vinglish. You know what I mean? Right. Generally, it's like an extreme, whereas you're kind of taking that middle path, which in the interest of full transparency is actually something I've been hoping for Tiger Shroff, because it's like I've been seeing him kind of in this lane a lot. And you're doing exactly what I was hoping for him. And that's what makes me so happy, is that you're taking this new path, intentionally or not, which shows a different side of you that people haven't seen before. And to me, that's so important to just keep, like as a martial artist, to keep, growing into a better and better version of yourself every single day.
But sometimes you really enjoy being in that mold too.
Yeah.
As a fighter or a martial artist, you just enjoy working on a specific skill. It's with movies too. You get addicted to doing exactly what you've been doing. Sometimes you just have to say, all right, I have to wake up and try something else.
Yeah.
Once you start rollerblading, you will want to slackline. Once you start slacklining, you want to go highlining. So It's a process. Sometimes some people just like to do that.
So, I don't know if you're still doing it, but I saw several of your interviews with other action stars, martial artists, etc. Is there anything that you got from that you never knew before, that you'd never, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I started that whole series called X-Rayed with the idea that I think journalists don't ask me the right questions.
Okay.
It's not about what I eat, what time I wake up at, or what's my discipline. It's more than that.
Yeah.
So I thought, why not speak to top athletes who I think are top athletes and ask them the right questions.
Yeah.
It's not about how many hours do you work out or what do you eat. It's more than that. Do you understand how the mind works? That's what I wanted the audience to know.
Yeah.
So yes, I shot a few, and after I haven't had the time really, but
Right.
I would love to do it. It's nice to know their thoughts. Funnily, we all think alike, all of us. We all think alike.
Well, how do you mean? Can you be specific?
Like when you watch the interviews, you realize that what he's saying is exactly what you've been talking about. I'm talking about Michael Jai White or Tony Jaa or anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're speaking the same language.
Yeah.
It's not about the food. It's not about waking up at 4. The discipline is much more than what they have told us.
Yeah.
Discipline to me is, if you've decided that this is what I want to do tomorrow, it doesn't matter if you wake up at 4, 6, 8, 10, you just do it.
Yeah.
You just do it. That's discipline. And when you watch the interviews, it's not about them having a regimental life. It's more than that. It's not breaking a promise that you've said to yourself or made to yourself that this is what I'll do tomorrow or this is how I want to look. You just stick to it.
Yeah.
That's what I've learned from them. We all are the same.
Bruce Lee famously was attacked by people, like while making movies. People would challenge him all the time. Do you ever experience people trying to challenge you because like you're a professed martial artist and like you want to be the face of that style, and sometimes people try to like mess with you when you're that person? How do you handle those situations?
So I always have somebody with me who's supposed to be a security official.
Okay.
And I'm frequently asked this, why do you have to have a security guy with you?
Yeah.
Because I will beat the shit out of you if you trouble me.
Right.
So it's for those people. There are people who are really aggressive. When you go into these public places, you see people really going at it. For them to just touch you and punch you is a great achievement. And if they touch you and punch you, I will knock you down.
Right. Right.
It's for everybody. So you need to have somebody who is there to stop all this happening.
Right.
Because if somebody gets into a fight, yes, I'm an actor. Yes, I'm not supposed to do this, but I do get angry. And my anger comes in my fists and my legs and my mind.
Yeah.
I will not stop it.
And you feel your anger. You allow it.
You should let it go. It doesn't last too long.
No, it's true. It's true.
Okay. So knowing that you don't have any restrictions on your diets, do you have a favorite alcoholic beverage?
It keeps moving. Sometimes there's a time when you just want to drink tequila because apparently it's healthy. Then you think Prosecco is the best thing. Then you think vodka gives you a better high. Then you think whiskey has been told that this is... So I go through these phases. I don't stick to anything in particular.
Okay. And no, there's no favorites.
No favorites.
No favorites.
I
Just
feel like-
constantly flowing.
That's kind of like a theme where you're like constantly, you know, trying new things in your life, like with this rollerblading now and like this
I attempted a world
producing.
record on highlining recently in Poland. Yeah. It was my
Wow.
first and I was like, I want to try this.
Well, okay, so like what new challenges are you thinking about doing now?
No, I don't think they come to me. If something ignites something in my mind, like if I'm watching something, this is how it's always been. Like if I'm in a friend's car and I love his car and I don't think I want to own it, I see it happen to me. The car, somehow there's a car that is on sale and I own it. Similarly, if I see somebody doing a spectacular thing physically, I relish it. I don't think I want to do it, but it comes to me. It calls me to do it. I don't plan. The Beehive was the current ambition and I've been doing it. And I promise you it's much more easier than what they say.
One of your interviews that you did for X-Ray, I forgot who it was that you spoke to about this, but the person you interviewed is married and has kids. And you conveyed in that interview that you had a hard time finding a partner. And I think you're dating someone now, but can you explain that at all? Like, because it's like that's a surprise for people on the outside to know that VIDYUT JAMMWAL is having a hard time finding someone to date. I'm just curious about your perspective.
No,
on
like
that.
I said, I don't go out finding. I sit there and somebody finds me.
Okay.
But when they find me, they love everything about me. But then they suddenly realize that His habits are a little different, and like I can be on the street any time of the hour and I don't have a problem. I can lie on the floor and I can do it. Initially it sounds very good, but if you're a partner, it's not as easy.
Okay.
I'm somebody who doesn't step out at all.
Okay.
I love to be at home. I like to do my own thing. If I want to meet somebody, I'll meet them individually. I can't meet 20 people at the same time. It sounds good, but once it's your partner, it's not as easy.
Yeah. So would you say you're an introvert?
Nope. No.
You just gotta like
Is it-
mind
No,
your
I
energy.
choose to do what I feel like doing. I just can't be somewhere where I'm just 50%. If I'm somewhere, I love to be there. It's like
100%.
if I drink, I just don't drink to have the taste only. I want to get drunk. I
Yeah.
want to fall off the chair. Otherwise, what's the fun of it? You go to the extreme of it.
Yeah.
Because if you go to the extreme of it, it's easier to come back. If you're always dwindling in between, it keeps you hanging for a while.
Okay.
This is what I think.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Do you have, this probably goes against the philosophy of VIDYUT JAMMWAL, but I thought it's worth asking. Do you have any must-haves whenever you do a movie? Like, because like we've been interviewing a lot of people and they kind of come with their entourage of people and they have their must-haves. What are yours?
I have a vanity van which is open to all. Anybody can come in any time. If you're on a movie set and you're not having fun, then you should not be on the movie set. If you're on a movie set and you have a problem with somebody else and it's been lingering on for a very long time, one of you has to leave because it's corrupting the environment. Everybody has to be happy. That's a must-have. You got to come to work and be happy. You got to come to work and say, Vidyut is the leading man and I promise you it's so much fun. And yes, I have a picture with him. See. All those 300 people should have a picture with me because the family goes, when they go back home, they ask, do you have a picture with you? So these are must-have. You can come to me, get a picture, you want something, you want to talk about, you do. I give them half an hour every day.
That's awesome. I have no more questions.
No, I've really, really enjoyed talking to you. Like, I think you have such a lovely energy about you and your outlooks.
Yeah, it seems like you have a lot of love.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
Like I said, like I promise you, if you enjoy people, like this is my manifestation. They frequently ask me, how did you do it? I just enjoyed everybody's everything. If I go to somebody's home, I'm like, my God, I have a friend who has a fancy home like this. And then somehow it happens to you.
Yeah.
So I believe you enjoy people's thing genuinely, you will get it.
Gotcha. Just so y'all know, the best hug I got on this entire trip was from this man right here.
Yeah.
Really?
Best hug giver ever.
It was just very warm and full of love and life. Anyways, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
hanging out with us. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.